there!
Instead of using armaments to increase unit capacities, we can also upgrade them by group. For now, we gave our dwarf melee units Frenzy, and later we get access to even better upgrades for each other kind of unit. To show off our new prowess, I was overjoyed to find a Beastman faction had spawned inside my settlement, leading to one of my units of Infernal Guard getting 403 kills and allowing us to diversify our labor. With newly upgraded mines, Gromwell-tipped drills, and an increasing demand for real estate, our armies began to encircle the southern High Elves. What I wasn't expecting was for them to attack out mid-recruitment. With Great Eagles and Dragon Princes, their army was scary, but we had their direct counter. 240 midgets with shotguns. Melting the Great Eagles in seconds, we countered their archers with Drezuet's newfound ability to spit fireballs from his mouth. Even so, our front line was mostly hobgoblins, forcing us to kite back with the blunderbusses. Utilizing our array of strengths like firebombing, we reenacted the running of the bulls and regrouped while our Infernal Guard held the line. On paper, they may be ranged units, but 158 melee kills would disagree. Over the course of 20 minutes, Drezuet single-handedly kited and cycle charged into a wind, then marched on the nearest city and did it again. Similarly, our other army besieged a different city, claiming it at the cost of a few casualties. Interrupting our conquest was the arrival of Big Boy Imric, who decided now was the time to get absolutely dumpstered. While our empire expanded southwards, it also grew on the Tower of Zar. Because enough seats had been claimed, we could move up the tower to the tier 2 seats with even stronger bonuses and getting us closer to confederating entire factions. But for now, we focused on developing our infrastructure at Crookback Mountain, claiming the first tier 2 tower seat and finally wiping Imric off the map. To account for our expanding army, we researched the groundbreaking technology called feeding our people less, then attempted to fight Drezuet's main quest battle against a small force of 6,000 undead. It's good to know that Drezuet has his priorities in order. The first wave is mostly weaker undead, black knights, skeletons, and crypt ghouls, and while some might say shotguns are dishonorable, those people are probably dead. With the Vampire Count armies, a smoldering pile of ash, a second army of Tomb Kings entered as reinforcements, meeting exactly the same fate, and triggering a third and fourth army to reinforce as well. The only problem with having an army of gunners is trying not to shoot your own units, which I solved by not trying at all. By the end, there was only a single group of Tomb Guard, and one colossal Hyro Titan that lasted an impressive 6 seconds. Just one of our blunderbusses ended the battle with a rather tame 329 kills, earning Drezuet his quest item and letting us recruit the Immortals, a bunch of cyborg dwarves. We also befriended a local ogre faction, defriended that same ogre faction, and moved further south to attack the Skaven. It's not like their garrison can be that, No, I wasn't trying to invade. I was just... That wasn't me. No sooner afterward did Kolek declare that he wanted to be our friend. Surprisingly, the Chaos Dwarves are pretty well liked by a certain clientele. Because we'd taken out every accessible enemy in our homeland, it seemed like a good decision to venture east towards Cathay. But little did I know, we would run into the most horrifying, evil, and utterly villainous antagonist the Warhammer universe has ever known. Helman Gorst. Our only redeeming factors was us eliminating the ogre leader, boosting our income significantly, and decking Drezuet out in the supreme drip of 6 legendary items. Surrounding his main settlement with both our armies, we could exploit a small oversight of the Vampire Counts, because they have 0 ranged units, meaning Drezuet can just fly over the city and destroy every single tower and defense that gets built. So instead of advancing into the city, we just put all the blunderbusses lined up on the edge to draw the defenders out. The rest of the fight was exactly what you'd expect. To make sure we weren't attacked from the opposite side of the map, I tried to bribe the Skaven. They rejected free money. Apparently, the only thing that outweighs greed is spite. While I prayed the Skaven would stay in their hole, I called out a vulnerable settlement from Gorst, which got occupied as an outpost. The thing is, its natural resource produced armaments. Need a cheap, readily available supply of coals for the furnace? Just burn down the forest. What's it gonna do? Get up and walk away? To remedy this, I can actually convert outposts to factories, or vice versa, which destroys all the infrastructure but changes the settlement type. In line with developing our provinces, we researched tech to help the average citizen, like tyrannical decrees and 20-hour shifts, then began building our first tier 5 settlement to unlock our best units. The best part is that when the building is almost done, we can rush the construction to instantly complete it, at definitely no cost whatsoever. We were fortunate that Helman Gorst had met his match, a giant blob of green flesh, and that the Skaven we trespassed against were too paranoid to move. Sadly, Gorst's vacation eventually came to an end, with one one of his armies trying to siege our homeland. Gorst himself just kinda spontaneously died. We took out another stack of ogres, and Drazuath finally had some spare skill points. One of his learned skills targets an area, then peacefully explodes an entire volcano. But the spell costs a literal kidney of mana, unless you're Drazuath, because one of his abilities practically halves the cost, plus certain techs and items reduce it even further. As a Chaos Dwarf, Drazuath is also a master of diplomacy with all of the respectable factions. We gained a defensive alliance with Kolek, trade with Norska, non-aggression pacts with other Chaos Dwarfs, and the Skaven promised to consider not killing us. Alliances give us the ability to construct outposts, allowing us to recruit a limited set of units from other factions. The only thing that can make blunderbusses even stronger is backing them up with chemical weapon teams. By increasing our influence, we could unlock the second to last row of seats in the Tower of Zar, rapidly closing the gap to instant confederation of the other Chaos Dwarfs. Not to mention that filling out the seats in the tower gives every Chaos Dwarf faction bonuses, like a higher caravan capacity. Despite us taking a sizable amount of Gor's settlements, not everything was going so peachy. Vampiric and Nurgle corruption were spawning rebel armies, lizardmen ones, and that caravan we sent lasted a single turn. Why hello, what can I do for you, fine gentlemen? Our allies were handling Grimgor's main army, but Helmengorst was riding around the ocean in his vampiric submarine. We were fighting zombies and were somehow taking more casualties than them. To solve this problem, I found several hundred involuntary volunteers to rush the construction of our tier 5 settlements, so we could start getting higher level units. Infernal Guard, more techno beasts, and a sprinkling of German artillery trains. I also needed to recruit a third army, because the ogres were sieging us in the north. Something very special about the Chaos Dwarves is that they don't have supply lines. Normally, for each army you recruit, your upkeep increases for all armies, but for the Chaos Dwarves, it remains the same. That means there's no penalty to recruiting more and more armies, but you're still limited by the recruitment caps on your actual units. Which is why it was great that I had 4,187 armaments, allowing me to increase the caps on just about everything. Then use the Hellforge to give our units even more ammo. While the ogre problem was boiling to a crisis, Drazuath was forced to march north to save the capital, then reconquer our northern outposts. Luckily, our fruitful alliance with Kolek cultivated in repeatedly declining to fight Cathay. My ethics may be flexible, but even I'm scared of the Great Dragon and Helmengorst, because somehow he is still alive. Kinda. So instead of losing 2 settlements to him, I decided to gift the other to Kugath for a benign friendship and $7,000. The following turn, he asked if I would join his wars. Obviously not.
Hey man, back off dude. I know karate and I know 10 forms of self-defense. Don't mess with me. I'm a Dunstar. Dude, back off man. Back off!